Hey Resistance, this is Joey here. I want to shoot this here video this morning. Really, it's kind of just going over some of the stuff we're doing here on our gardens. Kind of keeping it small scale this year because we run into a lot of issues in the last couple of years with our gardening and the production of the food and all coming off of them. So like I say, we've kind of kept it a little small this year, but we've done some improvements, and so far things have been looking good. So I'm just going to kind of go across what we got going on here and let y'all check it out if y'all are interested. I'm going to flip this camera around. All right, now first of all, we got here is our little crop of tomatoes. These here are Parks Whoppers. We stuck with one type of tomato this year. I think these are heirloom tomato. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, we've got them close knit here, and I kind of want to help with the pollination factor on them. Is why I've done this. You know, hopefully it will be a little bit better than it has been in the past. And if y'all can see, we've got a lot of little small blooms coming on and everything. Now these plants here were about 4 inches tall when we put them out, and they've only been out about a little over a month. So this is the growth rate that we've had. It's really good. When we first put these plants out, we put some ground up oyster shells down in the hole with the plant, and we've here recently, my wife put some baking soda out around them and everything, help it get into the ground, help, you know, fight off diseases and stuff like that. Now, this soil that's in here is a mixture. It started out as a total organic soil that we purchased from a landscaping company, and that landscaping company is no longer in business for whatever reasons, I do not know. But anyway, the first year we used it, you know, they said this soil was really good, it's aged, it was good to go. Well, apparently it was too hot, because we had a lot of problems with our growth, plants dying off pretty easy. Now I will say our peppers, our bell peppers, and our bush beans done excellent, but you know, let me back up a little bit. The bush beans grew fantastic. The production of the bean itself was okay at best. But now earlier this year, we topped this soil off, and I used another brand. It was a store-bought brand, organic soil, called True Green, I think was the name of it. But anyway, it was a cheaper by the bag type soil, and we got it and used it. And so far everything's looking pretty good. We've got that, there's a squash plant, and right beside it is a zucchini. You can tell there's a little difference in the leaves. You know, we got another squash and zucchini in there, and a squash here. None of these plants are over a month old at best. To be honest with you, I think these squash plants might be 2 weeks, and they were put out really small, so they've got a really good growth going on. And if I can get in here, y'all can see there is going to be some squash coming on before long. It'll take a little time, but it'll get there. And that's my primary goal, is to focus small this year. It's, I guess what you'd say is quality versus quantity. So the better quality plant I have, and the more time that we can put into the gardening of it and taking care of them, the better quality of the produce we're going to get, and hopefully a better quantity. Now here we have pepper plants. These are sweet peppers. This one on the very end here is a little different. I do not remember exactly what it is, but there is a few coming on there. Maybe a little early for them to come on, but it is happening. Some people think that, you know, I've got these small plants and they're already putting on produce and stuff like that and everything. We know, honestly, that's not really a good thing. If the plant's not grown to maturity and then producing, It could be because the plant is stressed out for some reason or another. Now I will say those tomato plants on the end, they went through a period of stress. They sat in our greenhouse. They kind of sat in there a little bit too long. They got dried out. We got them back up, brought back pretty good. I pinched what? After we set them out, within a week, they had blooms coming on them. I pinched those blooms off, and it seemed to have helped. I will not do it on this pepper plant because right now it's just a little bit too late to get to that point. Here we've got some bush beans. Now I've had to put 7 dust powder on them. We've got a slug issue or something. We've got some holes that's coming up on some of the leaves and everything, and you know, it's not a very healthy looking bean plant, but hopefully that will change as time goes and everything. Now if you notice in this bed, you see this wood that's right here, my foot's on it. But these started out as boxed raised beds, and I'm replacing some wood on my deck. So I used the boards as the original. Now that one over there I've removed the wood out of. This one over here I'm having to wait because we planted our seed and it started producing everything before I got it out. So now I don't want to try to remove it and just disturb the roots and all that stuff like that. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. And as time goes, you know, later on this fall, I'll pull that out of there. We've got these blocks here going around. Now, I mean, this is not just something you can run out to your local hardware store and, you know, say, oh, I like that, I'm going to do something like that and go forth. I mean, you're talking $2 something a piece. It took me a while to get these gathered up enough to where I could, you know, afford to get it. You know, trying to buy this kind of block all at one time just wasn't going to happen. Ain't no rich man. So anyway, that's how that is. Now we'll walk down here a little bit, and we've got our blackberries. We planted these last year. We got a really good crop off of them. They done really good. Cut them back, and we're not really familiar with growing domestic blackberries, so we may get some off of them this year. It has to be determined. They may have got cut back a little too far, I'm not sure, but you know, like I say, it's a learn and go process. We got our chickens back here. I've got 2 ducks and a hen that are brooding right now. They're sitting on a buttload of eggs. I'm not sure how many, but it is a significant amount. So when these hatch and however many hatch, some of the female ducks I may keep, but these are Muscovy ducks, if you can see them right yonder. A lot of people, you know, you can sex fowl and stuff like that when they're little. Muscovy ducks are very fragile when they're small like that, and sexing them can be dangerous to their health. I will not do that, and I will not. We're going to give them away, but I will not allow somebody to come down here and say, "Well, I want to sex them." No, you're not. You're just going to have to pick what you want and take them. But you know, I'm going to try to. Hopefully, there is other ways you can tell which ones are males and females. It takes a little time and learning, but it can be done. And same with the chickens. You know, I want to keep a couple of hens. None of the roosters. I've already got 2 good roosters in there, and they'll stay as is. That's the birds. Over here we've got us a little catnip, you know, tea and whatnot, that kind of stuff. And we grow a lot of stuff like this in these little kiddie swimming pools. A very little small herb garden going on. This is just something we're playing with. We got some lemon balm, some thyme, and some basil in there. I can't remember the exact type of basil it is, but it's got a good flavor. We got some cucumbers, you know, the little kiddie pools. Got a couple over here we haven't got situated yet. We'll get to those. Got a water storage supply. One thing we do here, we do not water these plants with our current city water supply. That water supply is not good for the plants. It's not good for us. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But I use rainwater. We have a rainwater catchment system, and I transfer it to these barrels here. I've got 2 back here I've already emptied, hoping for a little bit more rain so I can fill them back up. Here, this right here is 3 plants. These are boysenberry, I think's what it was. This is not a plant that is common in this actual area. I mean, I've heard of them, everybody's heard of them, you know, but we just don't have them. To my understanding, they're the exact same thing. They have the same flavor, the same type of berry as a blackberry, but without the seeds. So that's going to be awesome if that's true. You know, I like blackberries, but I hate seeds. Got a little, this right here, just some little mums set out. Hopefully, you know, they're all pollinating insects in here. This is something that's gone wild. All this right here, this is mint. Yep, just like the peppermint type mint. It's very good. I mean, good tea, good flavoring, all that stuff. But be careful if you plant it. Try to keep it in a restricted small area, because it will take over. It will run mad. It will break its boundaries and go. This is just getting started. Here in a few weeks, this whole bed will be slap full. I mean, there'll be more in there we can handle. We didn't really plan ahead when we planted that, but you know, it is what it is. It'll get used for other various things and stuff like that. Going on around a little bit. Got some little house plants around, you know, hosta and what stuff like that. That holly bush I mentioned in my previous video concerning Scout, this is where it's at. And it growed up in through there, and they were reaching through and they were nibbling on this thing. So they won't be nibbling on that no more. I will dig that out. We'll put something else there. We may cut some of this hosta up and move it over. Over here, this is one of our old garden spots, which I've decided to no longer till up and break the ground anymore. A couple reasons. One is because the tiller's getting where it beats the hell out of me. I can still do it, that's fine, but I fill it the next day and the day after. We've got a few blackberry plants that we put over here. We just couldn't find nowhere else to put them, so this is where we stuck them. And as you can see, there's actually some berries coming on here. I don't remember what type these are or nothing like that or anything. One of the reasons I've decided not to do this garden over here anymore is because I don't know if you can see it, but coming down through here, there's a rut. And what happens is it washes out down into that area, actually down here next to this plum tree. Go down here right quick and show y'all this. All this soil and seed and everything will wind up down in here. So I've kind of come up with a little bit of a solution. You can see our plums putting on pretty good. If these hold up, we'll have a really good plum crop this year. I've got a couple branches here I've got to cut out. They died off on me. I'm not sure what happened with that. Now, something I've noticed weird about this is this is the smaller tree. It's got a lighter green leaf on it and stuff like that. This here is the larger one. It's got a dark green leaf. It spreads out good. It's a more fuller bush than that one. I don't know if I can get back enough to show the size difference and everything. See, now this one has 10 times the amount of plums on it than this one. Honestly, this one might have just a few. I mean, there's a few right there, and there are little sporadic ones here and there. I don't know if it's because the plant itself took a big growth spurt, and instead of producing fruit, it's just decided to grow itself and see what. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. If any of y'all know, let me know. Give me an idea or something. We got a couple of blueberry bushes back here, and these will be another good crop this year. I do need to trim out around in here and get some of the honeysuckle out. My wife's gonna come out today, and she wants to pull some of this honeysuckle and make jelly out of it. If y'all have ever had honeysuckle jelly, it's easy to make. She's gonna make up a bunch of it, and we're gonna go from there. and got another one here beside it, and it, you know, it's going to have a good production rate on it too. Not as much as that one, but that's why I kind of need to cut this overgrowth back a little bit and let this one get a little bit more sun than that one, because as time goes, they do lean out toward the sun. Let me go back up here to this other garden. Now we have another garden way up in yonder ways, which I'm not fooling with this year. It's too hard to truck water up that way and everything with my current equipment. All right. These raised beds. These things here, my wife found these on Amazon. We were looking at these type raised beds. Now, they sell them at one of the big box hardware stores we've got around here, and they run $170 a piece. Said, no way that's happening. I'm not going to do that for that. It's just not worth it. So my wife got digging around, and she found these. These are less than $40 a piece. Now there's a catch. They're not galvanized metal. They are aluminum. You do have to put them together. They come in sections. Now, one thing about that, you can actually combine two together and make a bigger one if you want. You can change the diameters of it and that kind of stuff like that. You know, they sell smaller ones, but I mean, you could buy a little bit larger one and adapt it to your size and go from there. This soil is a mixture of Miracle-Gro garden soil and Black Cow. Black Cow, if you're not familiar with it, it's just another type of bad garden soil. It's mainly cow manure, and that's what we got in here. This has, just the other day, we put ochre in here. And like I say, we're staying small, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully this ochre will produce good. Over here, we've got more bush beans, and I have treated these. These do not have the bites on them that the other one does. These are not as old as the other one either. So there's that. And we got another one of these type of systems that's over there. Now I took these, set them down, put them together. I lined the inside up with plastic, put the soil in it. Now, what that's going to help me do here is I got water that rushes down this bank when it rains. And it comes down through here, it digs out everything, ruts it out. Now, if water rushes up under these, hopefully, excuse me, I got to sneeze. Sorry. Hopefully, if the water does run up underneath it, it will not wash the dirt out because of the plastic and everything and all that. So, you know, I've never really had a water issue with this particular part of the garden, but you know, things change as it goes. It's always run right down this middle right here. So, over here, these are fig bushes. We've got two of them, and they're big. They're not exactly a tree, but they're damn close. I would say the height of that one is probably 25 feet, along with this one. There are some branches in here I need to trim off. And we are actually getting figs already. It's a little early for us to be getting figs, to be honest with you, because I mean the leaves are still coming on really good. You know, it takes a little while for them to start, but once they start, they kick out there. And I've got a few dead growth in here and all that I got to trim out. I've got some tags. I'll tag these, and when the sap dies down in these in cold weather, we'll cut them back and go from there. Now, fig bushes can live a long time. They can live hundreds of years, to be honest with you. Some of the farmers that grow, you know, figs as that's their main crop. These things, they get about a 50-year lifespan on a farm, because for whatever reason they replant and take the old ones down, even though they still have 100 or so, 200 or 300 years life left in them. I guess it's just a thing that they do to ensure that they have a good crop all the time. I've got one more thing I'll show y'all, and I'll cut it from there, and we'll leave y'all alone for the day. Walk up this way a little bit. Kind kind of like to do these little videos at least once a year when the gardens is coming out. We'll come over here. This used to be an old chicken coop. Well, them chickens have gone away. We incorporated it into a little small berry spot. I've got grapes there and there, which I think the vines are died. They're doing very, very poorly. I'll probably cut them out and go from there. But we've got raspberries in here. They done good last year, but man, this is something you really got to keep weeded, and you really got to keep these raspberries trimmed too, because they will go wild on you. They will just start coming up everywhere. They'll overtake what you got, and the bad thing is they don't really produce good berry when it's like that. They're sporadic. They're just more into the plant growing instead of producing the fruit. Over here is something I've been experimenting with for a couple of years. I keep saying I'm going to move them. Well, this year, yeah, I'm going to move them. When they die back, I'm going to move these things. These are elderberries. These plants has been here about 4 years at least. They keep coming back every year. They come back a little bit bigger every year. But these things should be huge now, people. And it's just not happening. So I've got another spot that I'm going to put them. We're going to go from there. But I just don't never happen to get it done in time. Anyway, that's the elderberries, which is non-existent. Over here, we've got 2 different kinds of blueberries. Again, I don't know exactly what kind they are. This one produces berries in clusters, just like so. As long as the squirrels and the stuff like that don't get to this plant before these berries mature, I'll get a decent little run off of them. This one has not produced any yet. Every once in a while there'll be one come up on it, right there, but it, you know, just doesn't happen. So we may either move it, transplant it, do something with it. It's just not working out, and I'm tired of planting these things that don't work out. Spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort with no results. Here we've got a really poor looking plum tree. I mean, it's pitiful looking. I got a plum. I'm sorry, peach tree. Wake up, Joyce, peach tree. Yeah, this is not a really good tree. This one over here ain't much better, but it does make it a little bit. We've got a little bit of peaches on there. Got a few in here, got a few right there. This is a better looking tree, but it's still small. If you can see it way up yonder, it's our old garden spot. I think that's where I'm going to move the elderberries and the peach trees and see what happens. And hopefully I'll get something better off of it than what I'm getting. One last thing, my apple trees. I have dealt with a disease on 2 of these apple trees for years. We've got apples that come up on them from time to time, but I don't get anything. Now, I'm going to see if there's any evidence of this particular disease. Yeah. You see the spots on them leaves. That is called cedar rust disease. And apparently it's going to come back again this year. I thought that I have removed the culprit. We used to have a giant arborvitae right there. I cut it down. It did have the cedar rust disease pods in it. I've got rid of it. I mean, I don't know if there's any more of this stuff around. You know, that one of those cedar rust disease pods from one infected tree can spread an area of 5 miles. You know, it's really hard to control. I've got some apples coming in on here. You can see those. There's a little bit of evidence of that disease on this one too. I really hate that this is going on, because this tree here and this tree here is about 10 years old. I should be getting good apples, but I'm not getting anything. Other than they're just going to probably be a decorative type piece, to be honest with you. I've about given up on apples. It's another apple tree. It does not have anything on it. our blooms this year were, I think that was a problem. We had insufficient blooms on our trees this year, and apples just ain't working out for me, people. So I don't guess I'm gonna be eating apples at the end of the times. Anyway, I forgot. I got one more little thing. No, I'm probably boring y'all, but I just want to show it right quick. Get around here. Yeah, we got a lot of plant life and everything out here in the woods that we've put out and planted, done a lot of stuff with. This here's something new that I'm dealing with. Is we started a little strawberry patch. These 5 plants here are new. These here's a little bit older, a couple weeks older, but we're going to see what happens. This has the True Green soil in it, along with the organic, and hopefully we'll get some strawberries this year. We're actually going to try to go buy some today. We have a strawberry farm around here. They sell. They're expensive, but they sell. All right, that's what I wanted to put out today, people. That's about all I got. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope it maybe show you a little bit about what we got going on here. But y'all have a good one. Stay low, stay ready.